Good morning. This is All India Radio Kohima. The morning news read by Jonas Yantan. Nagaland Chief Minister Nipirio said the state so far has no case where the source of COVID-19 positive cannot be traced. Hence, Health and Family Department is of the view that there is no community transmission in the state, Rio told the 6th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly yesterday. He said frontline workers, doctors and nurses, district administration and police, NSDMA, municipal authorities and other essential services departments are working 24/7 to deal with multiple challenges brought in by the pandemic. Rio said that they are working in close coordination with tribal hohos, mass-based civil society organizations, church organizations and countless volunteers who are giving their invaluable services to handle the crisis. He said the focus is on improving and upgrading the health infrastructure as well as creating and running quarantine centers, COVID hospitals and COVID care centers. He said the government not only created sufficient testing capacities in the state in record time, but also substantially augmented the number of doctors, nurses and other medical personnel, besides roping in private hospitals to supplement the government effort in dealing with the crisis. Nagaland Lokayukta has granted prosecution sanction against 2 retired IAS officers. The Lokayukta granted prosecution sanction against the former Agriculture Production Commissioner and the chairman of the Small Farmers Agri-Business Consortium SFAC Nagaland and the former managing director SFAC Nagaland. IGP and director Nagaland Lokayukta Police I. Mei Onen in a press release yesterday said a case was registered against the then Secretary Horticulture Department and Managing Director SFSAC Nagaland, who had issued a work order for the project post-harvest management of horticulture crops to the contractor without technical approval. The project is based in Dimapur, Beren, Mukukchung, Tuensang, Pek and Woka. He said total amount of the project is 717.90 lakh rupees and an amount of 241.30 lakh rupees was released as first installment. He said payment was made to the contractor within 4 days after the work order was issued when there was no urgency or justification to do so. Further, the project was implemented in private lands instead of department's land. The charge sheet was yesterday submitted to the District and Sessions Judge and Special Judge Nagaland Lokayukta to proceed with a formal trial. Nagaland Minister for Parliamentary Affairs and Planning and Coordination, Nipa Grono, said the opposition's decision to boycott one-day 6th session of Nagaland Legislative Assembly yesterday was unprecedented, unfortunate and not appropriate. Grono in a press release said the session of the House was inevitably rescheduled on 30th July to 13th August due to emergencies that had arisen out of detection of COVID-positive cases amongst staff of Assembly and legislators and their staff. On reducing the session to a one-day session, the minister said other states also had reduced the session to one-day session because of COVID-19 pandemic. Grono said even in the last government under the leadership of T. S. Zeliang, sometimes sessions were adjourned early after a few minutes of discussion to fulfill the constitutional obligations. The minister further said the ruling bench had invited to have joint legislators forum meeting right after the session, but the opposition had turned down the proposal. He said at times like these, blame games should not be played as both ruling and opposition have equal role to play. Grono said even if it was a one-day session, together they can resolve many good things for the welfare of the people. President Ramnath Kovind and Nagaland Governor R.N. Ravi will address the people today on the eve of the 74th Independence Day. The President's address to the nation will be broadcast from 7 p.m. on the entire national network of All India Radio in Hindi, followed by English version. The Governor's address to the people of the state will be broadcast right after the President's address. AIR will broadcast the regional language versions of the President's address at 9:30 p.m. This will be followed by the regional version of Governor's address. With that, we come to the end of the morning news. Have a nice day.